Good afternoon, Franklin Township. This is PJ Parker from the Franklin Reporter and Advocate, and we are live right now on the scene of the corner of Hilltop and South Middlebush Road, where there has been a reported incident of a plane crash not too far from this very location, at the site of Zaff Court and and Hilltop. There is an ambulance who has just pulled up onto the site. There are police and fire from Middlebush, from I believe also Hillsborough and Franklin Township. We've seen a couple of drones that are hovering over the area where it is suspected that the plane has indeed crashed. We don't have a whole lot more information, but we are right now here on the property of former Mayor Chris Kelly, who heard the sound this morning. Chris, tell us what happened.
Well, I was inside in my living room with my dogs, and I heard it sounded like an engine, like really, really straining,
Mhm.
and then a loud bomb. It almost sounded like a bomb went off.
Oh,
Like it
God.
was very, very frightening, and it sounded like it was very, very close. So I called the police, shortly afterwards because I didn't really know what happened. I called them and said, sounded like almost like a plane crashed,
Mhm.
nearby, but I'm really not sure. And then about 4 or 5 minutes later, police started showing up, fire trucks started showing up, and then,
Mhm.
as you can kind of see off in the distance, that's where, maybe quarter mile away,
Mhm.
that's where apparently it seems like a plane crashed.
Mhm. Well, you heard what sounded like the engine faltering.
Yes, it sounded like
Mhm.
an engine faltering and straining to, gain altitude or whatever. I'm not a pilot, but it
Mhm.
seemed like that's what it was. And it was, very, very scary. I texted my wife and I said, you know what? It's, something's going on in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
We need
Don't come
to
home yet.
don't come
Right.
home yet. The dogs were cowering in the
Oh,
living room, and
oh my
we kind of,
God.
scuttled to, make sure they were okay, and
Mhm.
you know that was, kind of the way it went.
Oh my God. And that you're that close.
And you never really think that something like this is going to happen, but you know god forbid, hopefully everything is
Mhm.
okay, and
Mhm.
the pilot and everybody in the plane is okay, and you know uh, yeah, very shocking, and yeah, it's very, very frightening.
You know, it's frightening. It's frightening on every level, but you live so close to the potential of this having been in your backyard.
And not living near an airport, you
Right,
never really
exactly.
think this is going to
Mhm.
happen,
Mhm.
but there it is. And there are more ambulances showing up, as you can see. So hopefully, you know everybody is okay, and we can, move on from there.
Well, we certainly hope for the best, Franklin. The fact that there's so much response from our fire and safety uh, establishments in the township and in adjacent townships, that whatever is going to be handled, and handled well to the best of everyone's ability. So we don't have a whole lot more to talk to you about as yet. When we do, we'll be back. This is PJ Parker, Franklin Reporter and Advocate. We'll be back.